All right, I want to cover a couple of faxes I've got here, not all very friendly. One is just fine. It says, Art, what's the bit with lightning in a clear night sky? This past Wednesday night, Thursday morning, across the western Nebraska sky, myself and several other drivers witnessed and discussed this. Did it have something to do with the solar storm of last week? What this man is calling lightning in a clear sky, in a clear night sky, sir, that's not lightning. What you saw was, in fact, the aurora borealis coming very far south. As a matter of fact, it came south of you by quite a bit because of the solar storm. Yes, indeed, because of the sun's activities. So for that driver, yes, what you're calling lightning in the sky is from our sun. Ed, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, here's a pretty rough fact. I want to see how you handle it, all right?
Okay.
All right, Ed Dames knows damn well that Hal Puthoff, Ingo Swann, and Pat Price, all key players in the remote viewing program, were Scientologists, and that the military intelligence community were dogging L. Ron Hubbard for decades. Remote viewing came from Hubbard's discoveries, and Dames knows it, underlined. Why did he lie or play dumb when you mentioned Hubbard? For instance, the term anchor points is only a Hubbard discovery. Only, underlined. Any comment?
Bunked. All bunked.
All bunk?
Yeah, every single bit of that is bunked.
Okay.
And by the way, if there's anybody out there with a voice stress analyzer or any other type of lie machine, put it on. I'll say it again. It's bunk. Total bunk.
Okay.
Every bit of that.
Okay. Fair enough. Now I'm going to expose myself. I had a cousin named Freddie Lenz, who was a multimillionaire, who died in Long Island under unusual circumstances. The police have officially ruled his death as a suicide. I asked you publicly on the air to look into it for me some weeks ago, months ago, a couple of months ago, I guess, I don't know. And you did so. And I just got this fax. Art, on Ed's last appearance, he was going to remote view the death of your cousin and let you know whether it was an accident, suicide, or murder. Has he done so? Gene and Jim, St. Louis, Missouri. Gene and Jim, listening to KTRS, the answer is yes. He has done so and privately gave me the information. And Ed, go right ahead and tell them what you told me.
Everything?
Yeah.
Well, Frederick Lenz had a seizure the night that he died. The seizure caused him to gasp for air. He started choking and he could not breathe. And he bolted for the door to get some fresh air. And that's when he had the accident falling into the water. He was conditioned to have the seizure for two reasons. He had, the night that he had the seizure, he was not abusing any substances whatsoever. But he had in the past a history of substance abuse, which set him up for this evening that he died. In fact, there was a flashing light. We did not investigate whether it was a television screen or a large overhead New Age type of light, but this flashing caused a seizure. It actually catalyzed the seizure.
Actually, flashing can cause epileptic fits, I believe, and they proved that in Japan.
In children, particularly. Yeah. After children reach a certain age, that generally stops, and the frequency of that kind of seizure goes way down, unless you have some damage, and substance abuse can do that.
So you're saying, with a background of substance abuse, he had a seizure, stumbled outside,
trying to get his breath. Couldn't breathe. Now, when one has a seizure, there's different types of seizures. Generally speaking, you have about 30 seconds before you pass out. you're trying to get some air. You run outside, and then you pass out. He passed out and went over into the water.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he was not abusing substances that night.
That night.
But it was a seizure. There was no conspiracy, nothing else. It was a seizure.
Not suicide, though.
No, it was not suicide by any means. In fact, he was a very happy man. We have some background on him. We wanted to take a look at him, put this thing in context and perspective. And he was a fairly happy individual. He was not depressed. I mean, I don't know what drove him to this long-term habit, but at the time, in days prior to this accident, it does not appear that he was depressed at all. In fact, he was fairly elated and happy.
That is also the take I had on my own cousin, that he was elated, happy, successful, all of those things. There were many rumors of substance abuse. No question about that.
We even, I think we identified the substance too, but there's no need to go into that.
Freddie had a big 60 Minutes piece done on him also. He was a very high-profile person, and so I think that even though he was my first cousin and best friend as a youngster, that since the question was on the air, the answer should have been on the air too, so that's the answer. And I appreciate it, Ed. Back to the lines. First time caller line, you're on the air with Major Ed Dames. Hello.
How you doing, Ed?
Hi.
Where are you, sir?
Who are we talking to?
Sir, we're talking to you.
Okay. I'm calling from Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia, all right.
Yeah, we're a small place.
That's fine. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. I handle the millennium problems here in Nova Scotia.
The what problems?
Millennium? The year 2000 problems?
Oh, the Y2K problems, yes.
Y2K problems?
Yes.
Okay, and I just come up from Santa Clara, California, and I'm handling for the government of Nova Scotia here.
Yes.
And we're trying to figure out whether telecoms are going to work, like telephones,
Yes.
where power's going to work.
Yes.
Okay, let me give you a scenario, okay?
Just give me a question if you have one.
I have a question.
Go ahead then.
Okay. When you wake up on January 1st, 2000,
Yes.
what's going to happen?
All right. The answer to that is that there will be an event before January 1st, 2000, according to Ed, that will make that an academic question. Did I answer that correctly, Ed?
A lot fewer people will wake up that morning than we think.
All right. Well, that's another more dire way to put it.